Road to Progress, federal government inaugurates Section 2 of the Kano-Maiduguri Road. Youths obey the clearing call, no jab, no match from next year. Tonight also, royal relief, Oba of Benin receives deeds to artifacts looted from his forefathers. This is NTA Network News. I am Kenan Ima Aburikel. We are live in Abuja. Adeola Komiakara joins from Lagos and Mohammed Ibrahim is in our Maiduguri studio. Welcome. Lack of knowledge about the functions of legislature has curated the erroneous impression that an effective legislature lies in being antagonistic to the executive. These and other reasons are responsible for the low perception index of the legislature. The President of the Senate, Ahmad Lawan, made this position while delivering the Maiden Distinguished Parliamentarians Lecture Series organized by the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. National Assembly correspondent Dayo Ogunshala reports.
This is the first lecture in the series and a value addition from the mandate given to the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies. Declaring open the lecture, President Muhammadu Buhari, represented by the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, believes that the forum offers a platform to dissect available data.
I hope that it will present an opportunity to the legislature to remind itself of its mandate and the exercise thereof to all Nigerians, so as to avoid the frictions always associated with some interpretation.
The critical role of National Assembly requires that people who are involved do not just remain on hearsay, but are supposed to be knowledgeable enough.
Taking participants through the intellectual engagement titled The Legislature, Legislative Mandate and the People, the Reality and the Public Perception, President of the Senate established that being the most accessible by the people, the legislature does not always enjoy positive image.
More to this, however, sometimes the negative perception of the legislature can be attributed to a lack of knowledge and understanding of the role of the legislature and how it contributes to democratic governance. On other occasions, the misperception is due to a lack of sufficient information on the part of the public.
The erroneous perception notwithstanding, Dr. Ahmad Lawan says the Ninth Assembly has covered more miles. Speaker of the House of Representatives, joined by the convener, expressed optimism.
Lecture series is in furtherance of the shared commitment of the Ninth National Assembly and the Institute to expand the civic space and enlarge the marketplace of ideas.
That such an engagement undertaken at regular intervals is critical to improving legislative opponents and in the process encourage citizens' participation and dialogue.
Let us take advantage of this lecture and understand what the National Assembly stands for. You don't have to agree with everything he has said, but please fall team on facts and not an emotion.
There were goodwill messages from local and international partners. In Abuja, Dayo Ogunshala, NTA News.
The documentation process of transferring the two returned Benin artifacts to the Palace of the Oba of Benin has been concluded, and the document has been officially handed over to the Oba of Benin. Nigeria's High Commissioner to United Kingdom, who represented President Muhammadu Buhari while making the presentation, re-emphasized the federal government's commitment to return all stolen artifacts to their original homes. Obehe Otobo Aprizai reports.
Benin residents from all walks of life and royal visitors from different parts of the country, including the Emir of Kano and representatives of the Oni of Ife, thronged the palace of the Oba of Benin to witness the signing and presentation of the deed of transfer of the artifacts to the Oba of Benin.
I have the honor and privilege to transfer these possessed artifacts to you legally. So help me God.
For us to get this victory by returning this back is a victory, a call for celebration. Show that we are moving forward and we are standing independent on our own. This will attract everybody all over the world now to Edo State, to Nigeria.
President Muhammadu Buhari, through his representative, stressed the need to sustain the campaign to bring back the remaining artifacts.
My presence in Benin Kingdom today is in fulfillment of the desire and express directive of Muhammadu Buhari, ECFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, to return the repossessed artifacts to where it originally belonged.
For the Oba of Benin, it is double celebration as he marks not only his 5th coronation anniversary, but what he says is a new era in Benin history.
It is not our intention now to dwell on that. Rather, we wish to be forward-looking and discuss the subject of restitution and compensation for the acts that happened in the past.
The Okuko and Benin bronze head, which were among the thousands of Benin artifacts carted away in 1897, were returned to Nigeria by the University of Cambridge and the University of Aberdeen. In Benin, Obehi Otuba Presai, NT News.
The Minister of Finance, Zainab Ahmed, says a major policy thrust of the Finance Bill 2022 is to close tax loopholes following the coming into effect of the Petroleum Industry Act, PIA. It was during her presentation at a public hearing on the bill before the House of Representatives Committee on Finance. National Assembly correspondent Lamia Lee reports.
The Finance Bill 2022, like the previous finance bills, is crafted to sustain the fiscal reforms introduced from 2019 to support the implementation of the budget. The bill covers 5 key policy areas to support the 2022 budget of economic growth and sustainability. Areas of reform include tax administration to make the Federal Inland Revenue Service more efficient, international taxation with regards to e-commerce and digital activities, and domestic revenue mobilization.
Our ongoing reforms of the past 6 years are yielding tangible results, and we need to do more. There's also the possibility of introducing new taxes, new tariffs, new levies, as the economy is now on a recovery path.
House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila, who was represented, says the bill not only seeks to protect interests of investing public and businesses, but ensure accountability at all levels of government.
Finance Bill seeks to introduce strategic and broad-minded positive reforms that will engender best practice. Statutorily check borrowing by local, state and federal government.
The only way we can bring this country out of our present state is to look for genuine way of paying our taxes without even being coerced or without laws being made for it.
In another development, the Minister of State Environment, during an appearance at an investigative hearing by the House Committee on Whose Communities, said remediation work in oil spill impacted communities of Ogoniland will be completed in 2022.
The issue of artisanal refining, as we are doing the cleanup, that is still going on. So this is one request I would throw to this committee. Collaborate with us on that. Let us see how we can end artisanal refining.
The yearnings of the people from that part of the world can be addressed as Mr. President expects. What we're interested in is the remediation.
The Nigeria Oil Spill Detection and Response Agency, NOSDRA, and Management of Hydrocarbon Pollution Remediation Project, HYPREP, brought documents as requested by the committee to facilitate its inquiry into delays on the ongoing remediation work. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The federal government is willing to make more policies that will enhance and promote indigenous content in order to drive the digital economy of the country. The Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Ali Pantami, said this at the 9th regular meeting of the National Council on Communications and the Digital Economy. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson reports.
For days, these ICT practitioners from across the country have been brainstorming on how best to improve the performance of the sector as they took turns to appraise their respective contributions at the state level. Their recommendation settles in the hands of the Minister of Communications and Digital Economy, who readily gave approval to their desire for further actions.
The major challenge today with regards to indigenous content, as far as I'm concerned, has nothing to do with government policies, but rather with the quality and quantity of our indigenous products. This challenge lies on our tables, that we must work together between the private and the public sector to enhance the quality of our indigenous content.
To increase the economic growth and viability as a nation, we must be ready to expand our digital technology in all aspects of our lives.
Some states got awards in different categories for their efforts, as Oyo State won the overall best state in digital technology. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Meanwhile, reactions have continued to trail the recently approved national policy on 5G networks for Nigeria. Again, ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson, while taking a look at emerging concerns, reports that although the move seemed to have reopened the discourse of divergent views, the Commission has concluded its 3.5 GHz spectrum auction.
5G finally to be deployed in Nigeria after getting the nod of the federal government, which some industry players say seemed like the only obstacle against the deployment of the technology in the country. But the approval by the Federal Executive Council has once again brought to the fore the controversies surrounding the good, bad and ugly sides of the 5th generation technology network, an advanced form of 2G, 3G and 4G.
It is good for us to have 5G. You understand? Because it is going to enhance business growth in the long run. 5G is where the world is going, and we cannot afford, to stay behind because of all these theories that people have.
With the clear of things I have about the 5G, only God knows how it's going to be functioned. Those who want to remain where they are before their father was born, let them remain there, and those who want to move forward, let them move forward.
With many developed nations of the world already far into 5G adoption, ICT experts say Nigeria cannot be left behind, especially as its deployment would speed up the growth of Nigeria's digital economy, among other benefits.
International Telecommunications Union, that is ITU, which is an arm of the United Nations, and also World Health Organization, both of them confirm that there is no any adverse health effect of 5G.
And for most average users, they probably wouldn't notice the difference, unless maybe when they actually take into account that they can actually watch YouTube much faster now. They can actually download a whole movie or entire TV series in at the shortest time possible.
While the deployment of the policy is said to take immediate effect and will be carried out in phases between now and 2025, getting it right in such a manner that would make the deployment beneficial to the country and the end users is the major expectation of Nigerians. Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Now, the mobile telephone network, MTN, and Mafab Communications Limited have emerged winners of the Nigerian Communications Commission's NCC's 3.5 GHz 5th generation 5G technology spectrum auction. The 5G technology spectrum auction ended this evening with the total sum of $273.6 million per slot of 100 MHz TDD. The bidders, which are Mobile Telephone Network, MTN, Airtel Nigeria and Mafab Communications, ended at the main stage, dropping down to 2 bidders. The Executive Vice Chairman, NCC, Professor Umar Dambata, who announced the result, reiterated that the Commission followed due process for the bidding, while congratulating the winners and thanking the government for its support and commitment to the deployment of 5G technology in Nigeria. The EVC said the deployment would bring sustainable network improvements, higher connection speed, mobility and capacity, as well as low latency capacities to communications services in Nigeria. The Kano-Maiduguri Section 2 Expressway linking Shuwarin in Jigawa State and Azare in Bauchi State has been completed and handed over to the federal government for use. Minister of Water Resources Suleiman Adamu, who performed the inauguration on behalf of President Muhammadu Buhari, says the road will reduce travel hardship on commuters on that axis. Mohammed Askira has details.
Is finally commissioned, the road may reduce the rate of accidents.
Transportation accessibility has been subsidized, has been simplified. These are some of the views of motorists plying the newly inaugurated Kano-Maiduguri Dual-Lize Expressway Section 2 linking Jigawa and Bauchi states. Before now, commuters spent over 8 hours traveling between Kano and Maiduguri, but with the completion of this Section 2 of the expressway and that of Section 3 linking Azare and Potoskum in Bauchi and Yobe states, it has been reduced to 4 hours journey. President Muhammadu Buhari, representative, says the expressway will no doubt spur economic activities between the three northeastern states of Bauchi, Yobe and Borno and their counterparts in the northwest zone.
Our commitment in this government to improve road transport infrastructure, our determination to improve the ease of doing business, create jobs and prosperity to lift people out of poverty brings us here today because the results of our investments are manifested.
We have, in the last 18 days, handed over roads connecting 10 states. Today, it gives me immense pleasure to bring the good tidings of our administration to the people and government of Jigawa and Bauchi states. Governor Muhammadu Badru Abubakar, who recounted federal government's projects cited in Jigawa state in various sectors, stated that history will be kind to President Muhammadu Buhari for his impeccable leadership qualities.
President Muhammadu Buhari has done wonderfully well in all sectors of Nigerian economy.
This road inauguration is one of many across the geopolitical zones of the country completed by the present administration and handed over for use. From Dutse, Muhammad Askira, NTA News.
We pause now. Some messages. The news continues shortly. Do stay with us.
May all your dreams come true this Christmas. I am more than just an idea. I am alive, connected. I am part of an ecosystem, creating connections within an interactive and sustainable city. I am intentional about excellence, integrity, and efficiency. I am invested in building a sustainable future. I am committed to strategic partnerships and collaborations. I can be tough, and I can be tender. I take pride in delivering high standards. While there may be others, I am in a league of my own. I am more than just an idea. I am beloved. Who are you?
Everybody knows the secret to good cooking is that special ingredient. The mothers know it, but does this new generation know it? Let's find out. Mothers, daughters, are you ready? Yes! Let the cooking begin.
Erisco tomato paste. Now we get home, now we get love, now we get children. We spice the world with a meal so great and so healthy. You know we've got with Erisco, Ridico, Nidico.
Ladies and gentlemen, food is ready.
Good food for the body. Yum yum for the body.
Erisco Richico and Nagico tomato paste is made by Erisco Foods Limited, feeding Africans with healthy foods.
10 years ago, the federal government of Nigeria initiated a support and intervention agency for the Nigeria tertiary education, which has now made an indelible mark in the sands of time. Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. The Board of Trustees, management and staff of the Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund, hereby invites stakeholders to its 10th anniversary. Special guest of honor, Honorable Minister of Education, Malam Adamu. Guest of honor, Minister of State for Education, Honorable Chukwemeka Nwajuba. Chairman of the occasion, Olorun Dr. Sunny Folorum Shokuku, OFR, FAS. Date, 16 December 2021. Venue, Transco Hilton, Congress Hall, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. All COVID-19 protocols will be strictly adhered to. Professor Suleiman Elias Bogoro, Executive Secretary, Tertiary Education Trust Fund, TET Fund. Announcer.
When headache strikes, I always trust Sudrex Headache and Fever. For body pain, trust Sudrex Joint and Muscle Pain. Sudrex acts fast for headache and pain relief. Sudrex, overcome pain challenge. Win your day.
The Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Dr. Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, invites Senate and House Committees on Agriculture and Rural Development, relevant MDAs, development partners, Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, and relevant stakeholders to the National Validation Meeting of the Draft National Agricultural Technology and Innovation Policy, NAPTIP, 2022 to 2025. Venue, NAF Conference Center, Kado District, Abuja. Date, Thursday, 16th December 2021. Time, 9 a.m. Please note that regional validation, which started on 24th November, will be completed on 14th December 2021. For further inquiries, contact Zubairu Abdullahi on 0816 000 4732. Dr. Ernest Umakihe, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
Welcome back. Ushering in a season of good cheer, hope and joy echoed during the 2021 ASO Presidential Villa Christmas Praise Concert. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and other top government functionaries at the event say God has been kind to the nation and will continue to strengthen her in her quest for progress and development. Oyemi Ajayi reports.
The 2021 Christmas Praise Concert at the ASO Presidential Villa came with its unique pomp, Christmas cheer and glad tidings. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and his wife led government dignitaries present, including the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, Minister of Women Affairs, Dame Ntalive, to worship God for keeping the nation on a strong footing and a path to progress and development in spite of the challenges faced in the course of the year. In his sermon, the General Overseer of the Deeper Christian Life Ministry, Dr. William Kumuyi, said there is a need for the people to reconcile with God, as sin of mankind has separated man from God.
That word history, when you analyze it and apply it to Jesus Christ, everything is about his story. His story, that is history. And when that story is revealed in our lives, redemption will come, realization will come, and the goodness of the Lord, which is the good news that the Lord has provided for everyone, it will come.
In the Bible passages read, Governor of Delta State, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, and His Royal Majesty Professor James Ayate, the Ntalive, and other eminent Nigerians at the occasion extolled the virtues of Jesus Christ and the mystery of his birth and his life as an example of service, selflessness, love, and humility as key ingredients needed in the nation's quest for positive growth and development. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice Abubakar Malame says Nigeria is in collaboration with various jurisdictions in its efforts to recovering stolen assets stashed abroad. Malame made this known at the 9th session of the Conference of States Parties to the United Nations Convention Against Corruption holding in Sharm el-Sheikh, Egypt. It says Nigeria has submitted a draft resolution entitled Enhancing Access to and the Use of Beneficial Ownership Information to Facilitate the Identification, Recovery and Return of Assets with Pakistan, State of Palestine, Peru, Saudi Arabia and Kenya. Malami also says that significant progress has been recorded in the efforts to combat corruption in Nigeria. Now, only fully vaccinated prospective corps members will be allowed to register and participate in the scheme from January 2022. Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, Brigadier General Shuaibu Ibrahim, stated this while addressing the 2021 Batch C Stream 2 set of corps members in a virtual meeting. Olainka Ojo reports.
Stance is coming in the face of reported cases of new Omicron variants in Nigeria. The Director General, NYSC, applauds the federal government's effort in the provision of vaccines across its orientation camps, vowing not to let down its guard, as safety of corps members is non-negotiable.
I wanted to make it a policy that in the next orientation exercise, all incoming prospective members will show evidence of their vaccination.
For corps members that have been vaccinated,
there's no chip or anything inside, so the COVID-19 vaccine is safe.
The scheme urges the 2021 Batch C Stream 2 Youth Corps members to build on skills acquired during the orientation course. Olainka Ojo, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari has sent a get well message to his South African counterpart Cyril Ramaphosa, who tested positive for COVID-19. A statement by the senior special assistant to the president on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, quoted President Buhari as saying that his heart and prayers are with Ramaphosa of South Africa at this difficult moment of health condition and prays for his speedy and full recovery. The statement added that coronavirus pandemic is President Buhari. The statement added that coronavirus pandemic is a reality and no respecter of persons. President Buhari particularly reminded Nigerians to disregard the allegation that the pandemic is a foreign creation to depopulate Africa and boost the financial interests of Western pharmaceutical companies through vaccine production. He warned that lack of attention to medical advice and apathy are damaging to the government efforts to contain the spread of this deadly viral disease. The president therefore advised Nigerians to come out fully and get vaccinated. Nigeria is in diplomatic talks with the United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, Canada and Saudi Arabia to reverse travel restrictions imposed on the country. Minister of Aviation Hadi Sirikar at national briefing by the Presidential Steering Committee on COVID-19 says Nigeria's sovereignty remains paramount and mutual respect shall be guiding principle of ongoing discussions. Metara Iben reports.
Nigeria's plan to apply the principle of reciprocity over travel restrictions by several countries has triggered the opening of diplomatic channels of interactions with the respective countries. The Minister of Aviation hopes this could lead to a reversal of their restrictions.
Once they refuse to delist us, we will come back to the PSC and sit down as a house and decide the next step to take in the interest of our country. There is bilateral air service agreement between Nigeria and UAE as a country. We have followed the normal diplomatic route to continue to engage UAE, to respect the letters and spirit of this document, and there are huge signs that we are getting to resolving this matter and soon.
Meanwhile, Nigeria will no longer accept vaccines with short shelf life from donor countries.
Because of the scarcity of the supply in the global community, we had to receive these COVID-19 vaccines. The alternative would have been to leave Nigerians without a single opportunity. But at the Presidential Steering Committee and the Federal Ministry of Health, we took the right decision on behalf of Nigerians to accept these vaccines, deploy them quickly before their expiry. And because of that singular decision that is based on science, we've been able to vaccinate over 10 million Nigerians with vaccines that were received free of charge. The expired vaccines had actually been withdrawn. We are working with NAFDAC to schedule a date for when this destruction will take place.
The National Primary Healthcare Development Agency assures that no Nigerian has been administered with an expired COVID-19 vaccine. In Abuja, Ntalive, NTA News.
The current insecurity challenge bedeviling Nigeria can only be surmounted if Nigerians close ranks to confront it headlong. This was the view of former President Olusegun Obasanjo at a security dialogue convened by the Global Peace Foundation and Vision Africa in Abuja. Austin Anyebe completes the report.
It was a gathering of 22 eminent Nigerians from different walks of life. Each of them has a stake in Nigeria project. Foremost among issues raised at the forum is the insecurity threatening the peace in the land, which is the main agenda of the meeting with the former president. These eminent Nigerians advocate legislation on state police and political will march by action.
We can assemble, we can meet, we can recommend, we can appeal, but we cannot legislate. And that is why we must go to them, we must carry them along.
We find people killing innocent people, either in the name of religion or either in the name of banditry or terrorism or whatever it is. And that's why we keep on calling on all of us to go back to our holy books.
This forces us to take sides, or at least be sympathetic to these ideologies that continue to divide us. Even the fence-sitter and the neutral bystander seem to have shifted positions.
If we have embraced them as Nigerians and extend to them what we extend to Nigeria, or at least give them hope, just hope, you'll see a difference.
Painting pictures of the devastating nature of insecurity characterized by banditry, kidnapping, and terrorism, participants speak of the betrayal of elites, lack of trust among Nigerians, as violence seems to be the only language that thrives.
If we do not put our hands together, the crisis that we have here is not just going to be just for Nigeria. All our neighbors and almost the entire continent will be in a mess.
With insecurity, every other sector is down. You can't have investors. Kids can't go to school. The health sector can't work.
Every problem in this country belongs to everybody. If 2 years ago it wasn't like this, it is now. The combination of poor leadership and security have now created one country.
President of the Global Peace Foundation called on Nigerians to eschew violence and find lasting peace in the country. In Abuja, Austin Anyebe, NTA News.
The Nigeria Liquefied Natural Gas Limited, NLNG, has awarded postgraduate scholarship to 11 Nigerian youths to pursue master's degree in high-ranking university in the United Kingdom. The beneficiaries, who were selected based on merit, were advised to be good ambassadors of Nigeria in the UK. Gabriel Amunike reports.
As part of its corporate social responsibility and investment in education, the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas Limited has put smiles on the faces of beneficiaries. The scholarships awarded include an all-paid living expenses and travels for each scholar, irrespective of the field of study. According to authorities of the Nigerian Liquefied Natural Gas, the scholarship scheme was launched to grow a pool of dedicated professionals to bridge the specialist skills gap and help build a better Nigeria. General Manager, External Relations and Sustainable Development, Eyona Fatai Williams, says NLNG has recorded tremendous success in human capacity development.
There is business in Nigeria. Every country has its other side. We have ours. What you represent, what Nigeria stands for, and the future that Nigeria has. So it's a wonderful way for Nigeria LNG to wrap up the year, one of our end-of-year activities. This is the sort of thing we should do always to end the year.
Some stakeholders in Rivers State lauded the gesture and appealed to NLNG to carry Rivers State government along in selection process.
I would suggest that when you want to start the process, you let us know. We're not going to interfere in what we think is best for you, but we will offer advice.
Some of the beneficiaries speak on the impacts of the program.
It was a very transparent process. I was not expecting to get the award, but as God will have it, I applied online and did a test, and I was called up. I was sent an email, which I'm very pleased about.
It was a challenging process, and I'm glad to have been selected to study in the UK.
The scheme was launched in 2012 with an annual intake of about 11 beneficiaries to study in leading universities in the UK. In Port Harcourt, Gabriel Amunike, NTA News.
Farmers-herders clash and communal conflict are some of the security challenges brought about by lack of proper land administration. This
organized a two-day workshop to enlighten land officers, traditional leaders and citizens on the new approach of government to land administration in the state under the Gombe Geographic Information Systems (GOGIS).
A good land administration system is also essential in order to improve urban planning, support infrastructural development, and proper environmental management.
GOGIS is using modern technology to prevent difficulties associated with the traditional way of land administration in the state.
We have deployed advanced geographic information systems to manage land in the state, an effort that led us to revitalize the entire land administration and restore citizens' hope in the system.
The idea by Gombe State is welcomed by her neighbors who are participating in the workshop.
What I understand in Yobe State is that there is misconception between the general population and what government wants to do in terms of land matters. But then with this kind of workshop and sensitization, it will enlighten the community leaders.
This initiative is so fantastic, so encouraging.
Besides ensuring peaceful land administration, GOGIS says implementation of the new approach would attract investors from within and outside the country. In Gombe, Emmanuel Akila, NTA News.
We'll take you now to our Lagos studio for more reports from that zone. Adeola will be our guide. Hello, Adeola.
Hello, Kenny. An intervention fund that will address welfare-related issues affecting the judiciary, such as improved salary scale of judicial workers and provide enabling environment for speedy dispensation of justice, is being advocated. Chairman House Committee on Judiciary, Luke Onafiok, reiterated this during an oversight visit to courts under the federal government in Lagos. Amaka Owo has details.
The first port of call for members of the Committee on Judiciary was the Court of Appeal, where the committee members were received by the Deputy Court Registrar, who said that over 11,900 cases are still pending in the court, while enumerating factors responsible for this to include paucity of funds, lack of befitting residential quarters for judges. He took the members on inspection of renovated sections of the court affected by the NSAS protests and retrofitting technology in place to fast-track virtual sittings and ongoing projects within the court premises. Committee members also visited what used to be the residence of the first president of the Court of Appeal, still under contention, and other residential buildings for judges which are in their need of renovation.
The staff, the justices are lacking proper accommodation. We are thinking if the National Assembly can assist us to develop the place, I think we'll be happy.
We've been asking, we've been pleading, we've been making an advocacy for an intervention fund for the judiciary.
The committee members then proceeded to inspect the 13.6 billion naira Federal High Court complex, where massive construction, which began in 2011, is ongoing. The 15-story building, which occupies 17,500 square meters, is set to accommodate 20 courtrooms and 2 ceremonial courts, among other provisions to provide enabling environment for judges and judicial officers, as well as litigants.
The National Judicial Council have been allocating enough funds for this project, and that is why the project is moving. the way it is.
The National Industrial Court was the last port of call for the lawmakers, where they were received by one of the serving judges, Antonia Ubaka. During inspection of facilities, they applauded the infrastructure and facilities of the court, while emphasizing the urgent need for more funding be deployed to replicate such technology in other parts of the country. The House of Representatives Committee on Judiciary is made up of 42 members. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
Rather than fold arms and surrender to the socio-economic challenges facing the country at the moment, Nigerians must roll up their sleeves, identify their spheres of influence, and join in efforts at redeeming the nation. A movement, Ntalive, Hope Alive, went to town with this message in Lagos, urging citizens to be intentional about developing the nation. Adeniyi Taiwo has details.
Spurred by the belief that it does not take a crowd to inspire a change, they came out, just a handful, but in high spirit, as they waved the Nigerian flag. The serene environment of Mobolaji Johnson train station, Alagumeji, is their contact point with other Nigerians for whom they have this message.
I don't take care of Nigeria. I am the solution in my country.
Iritiola Ojekwa, who is the convener of Ntalive Hope Alive movement, says while there are challenges, it will take every Nigerian standing up for the good of the country in their two corners to effect sustainable change.
If you hear that in that school they are cheating, for instance, they are doing exam malpractices, you know this is like destroying the foundation of our children. And so you decide that, oh, we must see to the end of this. These nations that you are calling Senna climbs today, they had issues mightier than we had less than 100 years ago. And today we are envying them, we are liking them. That's to tell you that these things are temporary. All we need to do is know it. So if you do not even have faith in God enough to believe it, go and read history.
Just say God bless Nigeria. Start by talking to someone. Start by telling someone that Nigeria will be great and put in all your effort. And before you know it, we are there.
Already, their advocacy appears to have resonated well with other Nigerians who now see themselves as part of the solution.
Irrespective of your position, we should take responsibility of recreating the country.
A better Nigeria requires total commitment from the leadership to the led.
This social re-engineering advocacy began in Akure, Ondo State 3 years ago is expected to go around the country, making more foot soldiers for change out of ordinary Nigerians. In Lagos, Adeniyi Taiwo, NTA News.
And that's it from here. We'll take another break. The news will continue with Kene in Abuja.
And members of the Senate Committees on Finance, Custom, Excise and Tariff, Trade and Investment invite stakeholders and the general public to the public hearing on the amendment of the following acts: Capital Gains Tax, Companies Income Tax, Customs, Excise Tariff, etc., Federal Inland Revenue Service Establishment Act, Personal Income Tax, Stamp Duties Act, Value Added Tax Act, Insurance Act, Nigerian Police Trust Fund Establishment Act, National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure Act, Finance Control and Management Act, Fiscal Responsibility Act. Date Tuesday, 14th December 2021. Time 11 a.m. Venue Conference Hall 231, Senate New Building, Abuja. The underlisted stakeholders are expected to make presentations at the public hearing. Other stakeholders and interested persons or organizations who wish to make presentation should submit their memorandum on or before Monday, 13th December 2021 to the Joint Committee's Secretariat. For further inquiries, contact the Joint Committee clerk or check the following newspapers for details. All established protocols will be strictly adhered to. Senator Solomon Olamilekan Adiola, Chairman Joint Committee, announcer.
We have come a long way together from our first steps to taking giant strides as we conquered new territories. We move. We have built Africa's favorite network with the power of possibilities, community support, and the unstoppable Naija spirit. We are about to set out again, and there's no one we would rather set out with than you. We move.
Soft, make sense, we care for me, shy. No be the time when story go enter the matter when it's time to deliver. Oh, no. The brand is sure them no go stress you. Call them, then they accessible. Yes, customer care where they on point. No go regret when you try, of course. Profitable investment. passion. Make that switch to premium pension.
Join over 700,000 satisfied members and enjoy the premium experience at our offices across the 36 states in Nigeria, including the FCT. Call 094615-700-704 to make the switch today. Premium pension. Active today, premium tomorrow.
There is a saying that Christmas is what you make of it. At Bedmates Furniture, we enjoy making your Christmas comfortable and exciting with the furniture we provide you. That's why from 1st November to 18 December 2021, Bedmates offers you and your loved ones amazing luxury furniture your home loves and truly needs at up to 70% discount. You also stand a chance to win fridges, TVs, washing machines, and many more as we keep making your living better through the furniture you love.
My people, how do you feel when you see bulldozers demolish beautiful but illegally built private houses, estates, or plazas? Agony and pain. That is exactly what the FCT administration feels also. No responsible government is happy to inflict pain on her people by demolishing any property. Are you planning to acquire a piece of land? Avoid buying land from indigents or local chiefs or any other unauthorized source, as doing so could ruin your valuable investment. Only the Minister of FCT allocates land in Abuja. So, to acquire a piece of land in Abuja, go to the Abuja Geographic Information Systems, popularly known as AGIS, and obtain the relevant application form. Also, visit the FCDA Mass Housing Department to check the genuineness of land title before you acquire any property in any of the housing estates in Abuja. Do the right thing. Don't be a victim. This message is from the Federal Capital Territory Administration. This is beautiful.
Quality is vital. Quality is Vitafoam.
Hello, honey.
Hey, baby.
Wow. Those guys are good in bed.
What? Yes, we're good in bed. Hurry now to any Vitafoam accredited dealer nationwide or visit us online on www.vitafoamng.com to place your order today. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
Thank you for staying with us. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says relevant ministries, departments and agencies must see their role as supporting Nigerians who are engaged in different enterprises by creating a conducive and enabling business environment. This was during the MSME Clinic Stakeholders Review meeting at the Presidential Villa on how federal government agencies relate with micro, small and medium enterprises in the country. The Vice President explained that Nigerians are enterprising and need the right environment, which the MDAs must facilitate by removing constraints to make things easy for the MSMEs to do their business and not to become a stumbling block or a toll gate. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Marian Katagun, praised the stakeholders and state governors for their collaboration and cooperation in holding MSME clinics. The meeting was attended by heads and representatives of agencies, including SMEDAN, Bank of Industry, NEXIM, BOA, Standard Organization of Nigeria, FAIRS, NAFDAC, and others. Sugar Master Plan implementation to be rolled over, says National Sugar Development Council, as stock markets begin the week in a negative territory. Musa Abubakar brings us up to speed with details on business news.
Thank you, Kenneth. 7 years into the implementation of the 10-year Sugar Master Plan, indications have emerged that the plan may have to roll over due to prevailing socio-economic implications. Speaking in Abuja, Executive Secretary of the National Sugar Development Council, Zach Adedeji, say though tremendous investments in this sector have been achieved over time, scarcity of foreign exchange and insufficient logistics are slowing the wheels of progress. With 3 more years to go, over 200 billion naira worth of investment have been achieved through the backward integration program, with thousands of jobs being created in line with the presidential initiative on jobs creation.
the backward integration, the 11 million metric ton shortage we have in Africa, it is what Nigeria have capacity to fulfill. So in master plan percentage, one, apart from the consciousness and the well-structured issue it has brought, so we move on in what we set out to. So the last 3 years, what we have in plan to do, one is to review and to question some of our assumptions, whether that is what is required or not. And lastly, which I may not want to reveal now, is that by God's grace, we will have to extend the implementation.
Looking ahead, Adedeji said about 250,000 hectares of land will be needed for cultivation to achieve sugar sufficiency in the country. Now to stocks, the equities market closed on a positive note. The all-share index increased 1.26% at 42,411.12 points, and equity capitalization at 22.1 trillion naira, 229.6 million shares, value at 3.3 billion naira, exchange hands in 4,426 deals. The financial services industry lead the activity chart with Unity Bank, Universal Insurance PLC, and FBN Holdings the most traded shares. Well, that's business. Mohammed Ibrahim is in our Maiduguri Network Center.
Thank you and welcome to Maiduguri. Provision of free medical services, diverse health education and immunization against killer diseases are some of the health benefits offered by Borno State government to mark Child and Maternal Week, which coincided with mass COVID-19 vaccination for civil servants and other members of the public in Maiduguri. Jadwa John Jassani reports.
Stakeholders have sustained advocacy and sensitization on the need for regular access to quality healthcare services so as to build a healthy and prosperous society. Borno State Ministry of Health and the State Primary Healthcare Development Agency were emphatic on the need for the citizenry to take advantage of extensive health education, full vaccination of children and adults against killer diseases, among others, which the government has brought to their doorsteps free of charge. Other services to include access to vitamin A supplement, deworming tablets and long-lasting insecticide-treated nets, among others. Pregnant and lactating mothers have also been availed with antenatal care kits, courtesy of wife of Borno State Governor, Dr. Falmata Babagana Umar Zulum. While lamenting that less than 10% of civil servants in Borno are vaccinated, the ministry and the agency are of the opinion that flagging the vaccination in the state secretariat will enable the workers get vaccinated.
We are appealing to all our workers to come and take this vaccine. And we are also looking forward to getting the Johnson & Johnson and the Pfizer from the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, which is going to be a single dose. Most especially our displaced persons will benefit from that.
Representative of the Sheikh of Borno, Awana Laminu of Borno, and that of UNICEF and WHO all advised the people to avail themselves for the vaccination against COVID-19 and other killer diseases. In Maiduguri, Jadwa John Jesney, NTA News.
That is it from Maiduguri, and it's time for another commercial break, after which network news will continue in Abuja.
Capri-Sun Funland. Can't wait. Hey! Entry denied.
No artificial colors, no artificial sweeteners, no preservatives.
Nothing artificial. Next up, the water slide.
Nothing artificial and great taste. Capri-Sun, the taste of fun. Capri-Sun, a product of Cheer Limited.
For you to tanda for this world, you got know what's up. Sabi waiting day ground, then start to do your run. Get ginger to sabi every. Because when you fit see the different side of the world, anything they possible. BBC News for Pidgin, make your life better.
You're always running around. Keeping up with you needs a comforting touch from Huggies with the right stretch for how much you move. Huggies pants comfortably fit baby's tummy. Their 360-degree comfort fit waistband makes them easy to open and pull off and on, so baby can keep on exploring and you keep doing great, Mom. Huggies, recommended by 9 out of 10 mothers for comfort.
When you hear the sound of credit
patience is important in life's little moments. Strong teeth can help, even if they get her into trouble sometimes. A great smile is useful to break the ice, and making friends is easier when you know you have fresh breath. I give my family confidence with Pepsodent Triple Protection 123. Its antibacterial action formula gives them cavity protection, white teeth, and fresh breath. The confidence of 3 toothpaste in 1. Pepsodent Triple Protection 123.